Title: Shadows of the Spotlight, R-Truth vs. John Cena. It was a night that began like any other on Monday Night Raw. The lights were blinding, the crowd was deafening, and the energy in the air crackled with anticipation. Fans filled the arena, holding signs that paid homage to their heroes, chanting names, and waiting for the drama to unfold. Rumors had been circulating all week. Whispers of a major return, of something shocking to shake up the WWE universe. At the center of the speculation was none other than John Cena. The 16-time world champion, Hollywood star, and living legend was scheduled to make a special appearance. Cena hadn't been seen in the ring for months, and speculation about his retirement, future, and even a Hall of Fame induction had reached a fever pitch. Social media exploded with hashtags like "Once Cena Returns" and "Our Welcome Back Goat." Fans expected celebration, nostalgia, and maybe even a teaser for WrestleMania. What they didn't expect was R-Truth. Ron Killings, better known as R-Truth, had long been seen as the comic relief of WWE. Known for his antics with the 24/7 championship, his offbeat promos, and his uncanny ability to turn any moment into a laugh riot, R-Truth was beloved but rarely feared. He was a veteran, no doubt, but not a serious threat, at least not anymore. And perhaps that was exactly the problem. The night started with Cena making his triumphant return. His music hit, and the crowd erupted. Dressed in his classic jorts, a bright green Never Give Up t-shirt, and his signature cap, he stood, tall at the top of the ramp, saluting the crowd before running into the ring. Microphone in hand, he delivered a heartfelt promo. He talked about legacy, respect, the next generation, and hinted at one last run before possibly hanging up the boots. "There's still one more mountain I want to climb," he said, his voice steady, but emotional. "But I can't do it alone. I need to know if y'all still believe in me." The crowd roared in approval. Just then, the lights dimmed. A strange remix of R-Truth's theme music hit, a darker, more menacing version layered with distorted echoes and eerie undertones. The Tron screen flashed static. Cena squinted toward the ramp, confused. Out walked R-Truth, but not the one the audience was used to. This R-Truth wasn't smiling. He wasn't rapping. He wasn't holding a microphone or cracking jokes about little Jimmy. He wore dark street gear, black jeans, combat boots, and a worn leather jacket. His dreadlocks were pulled back tightly, and his expression was grim, focused, almost haunted. There was something in his eyes that chilled even the most seasoned fans, a burning intensity that hadn't been seen in years. He entered the ring slowly, grabbing a mic but not speaking for several long seconds. The tension in the arena was suffocating. Cena broke the silence. "Ron, what's this about, man?" Truth finally spoke, his voice low and gravelly. "You don't get to call me that anymore, John." The crowd was silent. "You've stood in this ring for decades telling people to never give up, preaching loyalty, hustle, respect. But what happens when the spotlight starts to dim? When the cheers start to fade, you get to go to Hollywood, you get the red carpet, you get respect." He stepped closer. "But what about me, John? I've been here just as long. I bled in this ring. I broke my body. And what did I get? A punchline, a meme, a joke. You were the hero. I was the clown." Cena looked genuinely confused. "Truth? Come on. You know I've always respected you." "That's the problem!" R-Truth exploded, his voice rising. "I don't want your respect, John. I want your spot." The crowd gasped. Cena took a step back, the shift in energy now undeniable. "You left this place and the fans worshipped you even more. You don't wrestle anymore, but they still chant your name. Meanwhile, I've been here every week busting my ass, and all I get is a laugh track." Cena tried to calm him down. "You've had your moments, Truth. You made people smile. You kept the locker room together. You are an important part of this place. But I'm not a legend, right?" Truth snapped. "Not like you, not like Randy, not like Edge. I'm just the guy who chases a green belt backstage. I'm done being your court jester." And with no further warning, Truth attacked. The first blow was a stiff forearm to the side of Cena's head. The crowd screamed in shock. Cena stumbled, and Truth didn't let up. He pounced, driving his fists into Cena's back and ribs with brutal precision. This wasn't a wrestling attack. This was personal. Truth mounted Cena and began raining down blows until referees rushed the ring to separate them. but R-Truth wasn't done. He broke free of the officials, grabbed a steel chair from ringside, and smashed it across Cena's back with a sickening crack. Again and again. Cena writhed in pain, crawling toward the ropes. Truth stood over him, face twisted with fury. "You took everything I ever worked for and turned me into a joke." The boos were deafening now. Some fans tried to chant for Cena, others were stunned into silence. Truth finally dropped the chair, leaned over Cena, and whispered something the cameras couldn't pick up. Then he rolled out of the ring and walked up the ramp, never looking back. Backstage, WWE officials scrambled. Medical staff attended to Cena. The commentators struggled to process what just happened. Over the next few weeks, the attack would be replayed from every angle. R-Truth would cut dark, emotionally raw promos about being overlooked, forgotten, and betrayed by the system. He talked about identity, about being a black man in an industry that boxed him in as comic relief while others got to be kings. He dropped the rapping gimmick, the jokes, the catchphrases, everything. He rechristened himself Ron Killings on TV, reclaiming his real name as a symbol of authenticity. No longer hiding behind humor, he painted himself as a man unmasked, ready to fight for the respect he was long denied. Cena, meanwhile, would be sidelined. Rumors of a severe back injury circulated. When he finally returned, his tone was different, less flashy, more grounded. He acknowledged Truth's pain, even admitted the system had failed him in some ways. But he promised to defend his legacy against anyone who tried to destroy it. What followed was a brutal, emotionally charged feud, one that blurred the lines between fiction and reality. Each promo cut deeper, each match more violent. No titles were involved. This was about legacy, respect, and redemption. WrestleMania became the battleground for the final confrontation. Would John Cena prove once again why he was the face of WWE for so long? Or would Ron Killings finally shatter the glass ceiling and make the world take him seriously? Creative notes for writers. This prompt provides the emotional, cultural, and psychological backdrop for an intense rivalry. Use it to explore themes of fame, legacy, identity, and redemption. You could write it from Truth's perspective to examine his transformation into a darker, more complex character, or explore Cena's internal conflict, caught between his status as a beloved icon and his possible role in perpetuating an unfair system. Potential expansions, flashbacks to their early careers, locker room reactions, and backstage politics. Interactions with other superstars, e.g. MVP, The Miz, Randy Orton. A mentor figure for truth guiding or misguiding him. A final sit-down interview segment a la Broken Skull Sessions.